Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing to share with you guys. So literally up until 10 seconds before I started this video, I truly did not know what this was. This was sent by DLT Trading, and I was like, I definitely have not had a conversation with DLT and a little bit about like sending something. So I was like, what could they be sending? Are they surprising me? No, I made a purchase before I went on vacation and forgot about it. So here it is. I'm very excited to check it out. This should absolutely be available. I will link it right down below, as well as the company who makes it, so you can check out everything. Thanks so much to my generous patrons who are supporting right now. There's a link for Patreon right down below, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. And thanks so much to me for buying this with my own money. They didn't hook me up. I just bought it because I wanted it. Where is the obsidian toenail? There it is. Let's well, there's tracking info on that side. Let's do it right like this. There we go. Okay, that's the right way to do that. And then we just do this because we don't really need a knife. But that's what this channel is about. So yeah. What do we have? We have a cold steel. You've already looked at the 8010, but not the new Tanto version. No, that looked super cool to me, and for some reason, a long time ago, I bought an 8010, and then, I don't know why I let it go. But I was like, you know what, there's the other pocket clip. I really like the 8010. I love it. So these things are still, as far as knives go, and like where they're made and what they're made out of, these are still relatively well priced, and they are mega robust. So, for the longest time, I said the Cold Steel SR1 Lite, right, is the best bang for your buck if you want a mega crazy overbuilt EDC knife, and I still stand by that. Even though it's an ATR 13 MOV, I mean, if you think about like the theory, like what it's going to be used for and how hard it's going to be pounded on, I mean, like, the edge at the end of the day is going to be chewed up, right? And you can get the SR1 in S35EN for like $160. I can't remember what I paid for this, but I know it was less. This is a smaller knife. It's also a little bit less thick dimensionally. It has the contoured scales. I don't think the blade stock thickness is quite 185 thousandths like the SR1, but it's still quite thick at something like, where are my stupid calipers? There they are, calipers. They're still, oh, is it? I need the inches, there we go. Okay, I think we're still looking at 160 thousandths or so. No, 155 thousandths. So we are still definitely robust. We get a little bit thinner here with the hollow ground, and then a little bit heavier here. I think this is a pretty excellent day-to-day work knife, and truthfully, I think probably the drop point version, which is also still available, is your best bet for all the way around, like general EDC. But this compound Tanto version, because it was new, really spoke to me. Now, truthfully, and by the way, yes, it's a triad lock, right? As many jokes as I crack about cold steel, I do like cold steel knives. I really do. They are exceptional for hard use, right? But there's kind of a line for me, right? When it comes to a cold steel knife, like, do I need the Espada XL? No. Does anyone need the Espada XL day to day? No. But Metal Complex, here's what I think. No, you don't need that. You want it, and that's totally okay. You want it in your pocket because it's cool and it makes you feel like Ninja Clan Dragon Class level 100, right? Fire motor, whatever, right? It's fine. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But me, I need something that's not going to make me drop my pants in the local supermarket. A place where I see people that I see all the time. I don't need that happening in my life, right? I still like to carry a big burly knife sometimes, right? I still like to carry a big burly knife, but it needs to work. It needs to fit my hand, right? It needs to be fairly easy to manipulate. This is the only thing that I don't like about cold steel triad locks, is that you have to do that and you have to be careful, right? But this one, the 8010, which is a Demko design, by the way, same guy who invented the triad lock, you get that burly, full-size knife feel, right? You get to walk around like even though you are just going to the supermarket, and you know, in the craziest scenario, somebody's gonna be like, hey, I got this thing that won't come under, can you cut? Then you're like, sure. And this is completely and totally overkill. But sometimes I do like, if I'm doing like home projects and I'm outside, I do like to have a larger knife with me, or if I'm gonna do some continuous cutting on maybe some heavier materials that might, you know, maybe a more robust blade geometry overall would be beneficial, right? If I do need to drive the tip into something that's a little bit more dense, something that I might not want to drive the tip of my Spyderco PM2 into because they are not the same. They are not the same tips, right? Then maybe something like this is going to be a little bit more beneficial. Now, of course, the downside to the Tanto version of this is that it is a Tanto. So instead of sharpening one edge, you get to sharpen and then readjust and sharpen the other angle, which, okay, no big deal. But I did buy this as kind of a beater alongside my other favorite cold steel knives, include, of course, the Code 4 and the American Lawman, which are also still available at reasonable prices, and I will link them right down below. The 4MAX is super cool, but there's an example of something that I think is just absolutely ridiculous to carry around. This is about the biggest knife that I'm going to want to carry around. I actually let go of my other SR1 because it just got to be too bulky. This guy is definitely bulky at, let's see here, at least 7 ounces. It's definitely also a bit bigger than, it's a bit longer than I'm used to carrying. I think this guy's approaching 9. Yeah, 8.75. A little bit more if you count whatever this is. You want to call it a breaker, you want to call it an attitude adjuster, whatever you want to call it. That's not what I'm going to use it for. Here's the other reason. This is the other reason that I picked this up. I'm trying to decide if I want to hunt down, which will take a while. I'm trying to decide. I saw a picture of a full titanium custom 8010 on Instagram. They do make, you know, Andrew Demko does make custom knives. I saw a contoured, textured, full titanium 8010 and thought, I think I want that, but I think I should probably carry this around and kind of experience before I decide if I'm really dedicated to the model. So this is the second time I'm buying this knife. Everything looks great, by the way. Like the quality on it all looks great to me. A little bit of variation back here in this part of the edge. It's not too bad. Not something that really bothers me all that much. Everything else honestly looks really, really good. The G10, the ergonomics of this knife have always been the main reason that I enjoy it. While I never enjoy this, I can understand why they have that there, right? It's to keep you completely and totally locked in. The choke-up position on this is also good. I still would have preferred that they just did a handle more like this, but I guess when you're swinging it around and when you're chopping down redwood trees, or when you know, when somebody drops a tank out of the sky and it buries itself 10 feet into concrete because of the impact, and you're like, what are we gonna do? We gotta get this tank out of the ground. I know, we'll use a cold steel triad lock 8010. That'll do it, right? When you need to do that on your way to the supermarket, there you go. Wow. 9 minutes of sarcasm. I love this knife. This is absolutely one of my favorite cold steel knives. While it is crazy and over the top and kind of ridiculous, it's also definitely one of the more practical knives in their line. I think it is probably the largest of the more practical designs, right? If not this, check out the American Lawman. I know, it's made in Taiwan and it says American Lawman. I bet I'm the first person to make that joke. You're not. It is still kind of funny, but you're not the first person to make that joke. But yeah, check that out. Code 4, 8010. Also like the 8015 with the scorpion lock. Still good. Those are just, The Scorpion Lock version is just really pricey, right? Especially if you don't want the light versions. They also, I'm pretty sure, am I wrong? Do they make an 8010 Lite now? If you want to go with OS 10A and Grivery or Groovery, however you say that. I like this version. S35VN, so we're working with S35VN and G10. This is a nice one. I like the Tanto. I think it looks good on this knife. Okay, that's about it. I'll link this, all the other cold steel knives I mentioned, plus cold steel knives in general, so you can browse. Triad lock is definitely one of the strongest locks you're going to get on a folding knife, if you didn't know. But I'm sure you do, because cold steel fans have been shouting it from the rooftops since the dinosaurs died. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.